Dun dun! Movie magic. I took my hair down, changed tops. Looks like it's a new day. Explanation, this, if you watched my first video for vlog every day in August / video every day in August, you know that I am recording videos beforehand, because I will be moving. So, anyways, to move on, the topic for today is learning Japanese. I have honestly tried to record this video twice already and ranted way too long about why I have wanted to learn Japanese. Yeah. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to give you a brief snippet of why, and then we're going to move on. So, I've always been fascinated about different cultures. First Egyptian, then Greek and Roman, and then I stumbled across anime and anime, whatever. Delved in, and I mean, I've watched a variety, but there are always ones that, you know, have some historical things put in. Like, I say historical, but I mean, there's a slice of life animes that like dwell around actual real life-ish things. So they go to festivals, they go to school, they, you know, things like that. And so through that, I've gotten a little bit of a view into what certain aspects of Japan are like. Not necessarily 100% accurate, but, you know, you get a sneak peek. It's based on something. Anyways, so I was always interested with that, and wound up picking up words and phrases from watching anime, because I would watch it in Japanese with English subtitles, once I discovered that was a thing, because the English just never fit right for the majority of the things that I tried watching. Like, generally the English was terrible if I had seen the Japanese. I was like, that voice does not fit the character. So anyways, point being, I always watched it in Japanese, always wanted to learn. So, throughout the years, I've kind of collected things, like, at a thrift store, found like a random book for learning Japanese, and been like, oh, yes! And then I never really did anything with those. Or I would like read the first chapter and quit there. Like, I would never proceed. And I think it was partially to do with intimidation. I was intimidated by trying to learn a new language, especially one that doesn't even use the Roman alphabet. Whatever. So it was intimidating, and I never really got into it until recently. A year ago, actually, I was at a Japanese grocery and I bought a book, and I honestly don't remember which one it was, if it was for hiragana or katakana, but I found one and picked it up because it had in the back flashcards that you know, perforated edges, you just tear it out and boom, you've got flashcards. And I was like, wow, like, that's super handy. It's got the stuff for you to learn the characters, and then actually like study them with the flashcards. I don't have to make my own or anything like that. That's awesome. So I bought the book. I want to say it was katakana. So I was kind of disappointed because hiragana is what you would use for native words in Japanese, and katakana is for the foreign, like, adapted words. So anyways, I picked up one of those, and then it was $15-ish, and I found out the other one, well, they had both, but I found the other one on Amazon later for $12-ish, so neither one was terribly bad. Not super thick. I was paranoid about writing in the book, though, especially if I started and then didn't finish. So I actually scanned all the pages and made a printout of them for myself. No, I will not share that because it's a book that you buy. So the printout is solely for my use, and I am not providing anyone with the PDF. So sorry, just putting that out there. But I will put in the description the books. I'll probably just link them on Amazon because that's where I know you can find them. But essentially, they're packets, and you go through and you learn. So this one's ooh. You learn the character, you write it down multiple times, and then over time, as you learn characters, you are taught words here. And so that happens, and then at the end of the chapter, I'm not sure, I can't remember if it ever tells you whatever, what this is. I have a friend who was born and raised in Japan, who calls it a chon? I don't remember. Anyways, so sometimes it'll have things like that where, okay, you learn these 5 characters, now with this thing, this is what those can change to, practice those, and then after that, at the end of the chapter, it had you go back through, it had you like write words, and it had you go through, if I can turn the page. Wow, taking forever to turn page. It has a review page. So it has you go through the vowels, and then it has the words that you previously practiced and go back over that. So it's really handy for learning the writing system. This is the one for hiragana, and this is the one for katakana. And they came with these awesome, now they don't come laminated, I laminated these myself. But anyways, you can look at it either way, obviously. You can look at the English and then try and guess the other side, or vice versa. It's really cool. It actually shows you the order to write for the strokes. So that's super handy. So these are, as I drop some, the orange ones are for the hiragana characters, and then there are green ones for the katakana. So it's super handy if you're trying to learn to read and write. Now, I decided that I wanted to learn to read and write because some books, many books that I've come across, sometimes they hold your hand for the first chapter or two, and they give you the Japanese words in Romaji, which is phonetically, but written, like, it's written out phonetically with English letters. So they hold your hand for the first chapter or two, but then they essentially expect you to be able to read for you to be able to learn new words. And I'm trying to teach myself. So really all I have to go on is those few books that I've acquired. And since they don't hold your hand after a certain point, I was like, I've got to learn these characters. So sadly, I've actually already packed all of my learning Japanese books, minus those packets that I kept out. So I don't have those to show you, but there's a variety of books, and I have come across that for actual practical use, you really have to start learning kanji too, which are the Chinese characters. It's super intimidating, but it's entirely doable. It's super intimidating, but doable. If you take your time, you can probably learn one set, like one, either hiragana or katakana. If you are super dedicated, you can probably learn the whole thing in a week. I have been doing it a bit more slowly. But for a while I was doing about a lesson a day, and I think there's only like 8 lessons in the hiragana book. So, like I said, if you're doing a lesson a day, you can learn it in about a week. Then, about a month ago, I was watching, I obviously recommend watching things in Japanese. I've been watching dramas, and I watch anime, and I also particularly enjoy watching YouTubers who are in Japan, because even though pretty much everybody I watch talks in English, I watch several people who are married to a Japanese spouse. So even though the majority of the video is in English, there's still bits that are said in Japanese, and they teach you things about the culture or about daily life, things like that. And so it's a nice way to learn about it. But one of the YouTubers that I watch, or YouTubers plural because it's Rachel and June. Rachel is American, married to June, who is Japanese, and they live in Japan. And many people ask her, how do you recommend learning Japanese? Well, about a month and a half ago, I guess, she posted a video talking about an app called Hello Talk. And so it's on Android and iOS. It's right here. And so it's pretty handy. Anyways, you're gonna have language partners, and has someone messaged me? Oh, someone wants to be a language partner. Ha! Anyways, so you don't have to be language partners with someone, but essentially you can message them. You can chat, you can post pictures. I don't think you can do video. I don't think that's an option. You can link YouTube videos, of course, though, and websites in general. You can share links. But anyways, so you can have language partners. You can chat with them. You can send voice messages. You can also have it like sometimes, since I am not very great at reading Japanese yet, I'm very slow. I have it read it off to me. It has an option to read off what the person has said. So that's super handy. There's still times where I have trouble understanding what they're trying to say, and vice versa, because most of the people who are contacting me are trying to learn English, and I'm trying to learn Japanese. But I have a handicap since I can't read yet. And I'm still handicapped even if I got, now I pretty much have hiragana completely down. There's a little bit I need to, solidify in my head. But I pretty much have hiragana down. But there's so much kanji in what they write, it's hard to keep up with. So I'm gonna start delving into kanji, probably though after I finish katakana, just because katakana is still useful. Especially for saying my name, because my name is not technically a Japanese native word, so I would write it in katakana. Anyways, so the app is super handy. It's on iOS and Android, and you can have language partners. You can also write it in your native language and have it translate for you. Translation's not always going to be perfect. Also, the opposite way isn't always going to be perfect. But you can start getting an idea. And I was talking to someone, and the first phrase that came to mind for me to respond with, I responded with, but I was like, maybe that's not the right thing. And so I said, is that the right way to respond? And then I remembered another word, and I was like, maybe this is more appropriate to respond. And so I sent that back, and so anyways, you can correct them on their English, they can correct you on your Japanese, things of that nature. There's actually a spelling check option in there, so you can go in and correct their spelling, correct their grammar, toss in punctuation that they left out, things like that. So anyways, it's pretty handy. You definitely will have a harder time if you can't read the language, though. So I definitely recommend finding something to study the language, the written language, so you can get that down. But that's where I'm at the moment. Took me 15 whole minutes to explain, even after cutting out my 5-minute explanation of how I got into wanting to learn Japanese. But anyways, it's a beautiful language in my opinion. If someday I manage to get Japanese down, I would be interested in learning Korean actually. But for now, studying Japanese, and yeah, it's difficult. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I guess since this video was about learning Japanese, I'll say, じゃあ、またね! Bye guys!